We think it's actually a very good package. In fact, there are elements of there that surprised us on the upside. And on the basis that businesses do invest, because there's still that requirement for businesses to get the instant asset write-off, they actually need to undertake that investment activity. Should all the businesses invest as anticipated, then we'll actually see quite a significant boost to the economy that otherwise wouldn't have been the case if not for this stimulus package.
Do you think that the states should now follow Scott Morrison's lead and do their bit to help stimulate the economy?
Look, I think we need to be careful with regards to having too much activity out in the marketplace in response to COVID-19. I think what we do need to see is there needs to be an ability for the community and the markets to take up what's now been on offer from the Commonwealth government. And if it does seem that this pandemic becomes much more problematic and worse than anticipated, then there may need to be a further step up by the Commonwealth and or the states. But at the moment, I think the package that was announced yesterday is very comprehensive. It includes both demand and supply side measures. And on the basis that the business community step into that investment allocation that's required, then this will go some way to certainly resolving the real downside risk that is emerging with regards to the pandemic.
What do you make of the casual staff aspect of the announcement? The ACTU says that it still doesn't go far enough. Are you worried for the fate of casuals should they contract COVID-19?
Oh, look, I'm concerned about the health and well-being of any person that contracts COVID-19. And in fact, you know, the human element side of this is going to be immense. And so while we're talking about the economics of it, we certainly don't want to downplay that side, the human side of this. But from a casual worker's perspective, I think there are elements of the government policy that are really good. I think that risks associated with casual workers in the workforce are still there. But again, I think we need to have a wait and see approach, but not one that drags on too long, but a preparedness to step in and do some more if we think that it's necessary.
Flight Centre just a short time ago announced that it will be shutting up to 100 stores across the country in response to the virus. Is it a matter now where we could just, this might become the norm, we're just going to see more and more businesses being unable to stay afloat in these times?
Look, I think that there is a risk with regards to some businesses finding their cash flow operations during this period of a downturn being compromised, and it could cause them to change how they operate, where they operate, and the size and structure of their businesses. A thing to also recognise is that this pandemic will be transient. We know, history tells us that in the past we have been able to get through the other side here. The issue is how much dislocation is going to occur within the community and within the economy as a consequence of it. Now, I think we need to recognise that some of the support mechanisms that have been put in place by the Commonwealth Government yesterday will go a large way to helping us with that transition. And there will be some businesses that do find it too much and use and have this as the reason why they need to change their operating models. That being said, we still also know that there is an end game to this, and hopefully what we'll see is a more resilient economy out the other end.
Fingers crossed. It's certainly difficult times at the moment. KPMG Chief Economist Rynne, thank you so much for joining me.
No, thanks very much for having me.